first solo starts off with a bunch of volume swells. You're going to need a volume pedal for this. You can try it with the hand here. Good luck. If you can do that, great. I don't think he even does that. It's much, much, much easier to do this with a volume pedal. So you're going to start with a bend here. Now we're on the 7th fret. We're going to start at the top. All right, here I swelled that in a little bit. In fact, let me give a little distortion so you can hear it. All right, now I got a little distortion so you can hear it. Really, it's pretty clean. You definitely want to get a little bit of sustain in there. Then the next one is, that's on the 10th fret on the B string. And then you're going to do a sequence of swell notes. Now, bear in mind too, this is all played in the key of C major. So if you know your C major scale, this is where you're going to kind of live here throughout the whole solo here. Okay, the whole solo is in C major. And then we're going to play a series of swell notes. So I'm just going on the B string, on 6, so, and then 5 on the B string. So this is how it's going to work. All right, that's without the swells. And then you're going to finish it off with, so right here you're on 7, 5 on the G, and then you're going to end on 7 on the A. All right, so let me take that really slow for you. All right, now there's this next part. We're going to play this up the C major scale up here. Right up there, okay? And this is, I'm just going to show it to you here, but we're utilizing, these are the frets, 10, 8 on the B, 10, 8, 7 on the E. And here's how it goes. I'll just do it really slow, so hopefully you can catch this. But once again. Okay, that's without the swells. All right, now what I do here, you don't have to do this, but I like going to my neck pickup for this part. And also, just a little quick note, sometimes what I'll do, well, actually what I do is I do roll back the volume just a little bit, just to pull off a little bit, even though it's a clean channel, just a little bit here, because we're going to set ourselves up for something really cool in the second half of the solo. So here, I'm going to play this riff. Now, he's done this kind of differently each time, and to be honest, when I play it, I'm a little different. It's kind of how I feel. There's different variations that... You can do a variety of ways in there, but the gist of it here is we're on the middle 2 strings, 5 and 7 on the D, 5, 7 on the G, and the bends are on that 7th fret. The main thing is you're going to end on the bend. Then you go to the next part. We're coming up from a bend, but it's going to be a half step bend. So we're going to be here on the 7th fret, but I'm starting about a half step. We're bending to this note here, but you're going to start. There's a couple times you're going to do this, and we're just on 8, 5 on the B, 7, 5 on the G. And this is 4, 4, 5 on the G, back to 4, and then 7 on the A. Okay, a lot there. So here, let me just take this little section here, and I'll slow it down so you can see what I'm doing. So now we're going to go to the next part. So here, he does variations on this, and honestly, when I do this live, I kind of do the same variations. But on the studio album, so the notes here are 9 on the G, and then I'm on 10 on the B, I use the 12 on the B, and I'm also going to use the 8 on the B. And then now we're going to shift up here into the 12th position. We start on 13 on the E. And you're going to end that riff here on 13 on the B, which is a C note. Now, again, there's variations on this, so I'm giving you a general guideline to go on. So hopefully you can kind of make this your own, because Lord knows he does. And so here, so I'm just playing with these notes right here, 13, 12, 15 on the E, and then 13, 12 on the B. So you want to start it here on the F and then close it here on the C. And then one more time, you're going to do a double pick. However you play that, it starts here on the E, which is the 12 on the E string. And then we're going to end this on the A. So now this next part, this is where the intensity picks up. What I do too is I just kick on my distortion. I got a little bit of delay. I kind of kick that in at this point. I'm not going to do it here because it get kind of messy, but right here, then we're going to go, that's 15 on the B. We're going to bend that and just go right down the scale to A note, which is the 14th fret on the G string. The next part is this one right here. They're kind of like mileposts in this part of the solo. It's probably the best way I can describe it, because he does this differently every time, but the keys are going to be this one. You're going to want to get to this bend. Then you can do a slight little riff here. You can do a little riff. So you're after this bend here on the 15th fret on the B, and then on the A note, which is actually the 14th fret on the G, you're going to close it with this, 2, and then back up. All right, if that makes any sense. So sort of get yourself to that bend. The best way I can describe it, to try to do it exact, you're going to end up kind of maybe even losing the feel for it. He kind of changes it up every single time. I've seen him play this countless times, and it's always a little different. So if he does it different, you have permission to do the same thing. So it's right here. And then after the... Then be careful, don't get over here too quick. You want to wait, and then you're going to go back to the position here at 5-7, 5-7 on the D and G string. One time, bend there on the 7th fret, bend on the 7th fret on the G, and then you're going to end up on this A note, which is 7 on the G, on the D string. And that's how that'll go. So it's something like that. So you're going to go down to 5-4 on the G, and then you're going to use 5-7 on the D string. I do a hammer on pull off on there because it's kind of common throughout this whole solo. All right, sit there for a little bit, and then there's a little scratchy thing. All right, so you're just gonna mute the strings here and just Probably do it on the lower strings that got the windings on it, so you get a little more of a scratchy. All right, and then you're going to bend it here on the 8th fret on the B string. And something like that too. So you're going to bend on the 8th string, and then you're going to go 8, 6, 5, and you're going to end right here, well, end-ish. You're going to end right here on the 7th fret on the G. And then comes the fast part. First fast part. Doing this live and doing it in the studio are they're kind of different. Here's what I will give you advice on, okay? To try, rather than sit and trying to get this exact, I've tried it, and then when I end up playing it live, I'm kind of doing my own thing on here. But again, it's where you're going to arrive. You're going to play basically really fast. I think these are 30-second notes or 64. I don't know. You'll see it on the tab. You're going to play this really fast, but stay in the C major scale. And here's the notes you're going to focus on. All right, this is part of that C major scale that you're going to kind of focus on really fast. Something like... All right, something like that, really fast. Just play fast in the C major scale. Keep it clean. All right, so if you're not certain on it, keep it clean, start slow, work your way up. But what I do here is then he builds up, he goes up, he'll kind of do some kind of riff. Now he may play it over here, but the goal is you're gonna ascend up that scale somewhere. I personally like doing it here on the E string. And you're going to end up bending on this back on the 17th fret on the high E. You got to get to that point right on time though. All right, so if you're going to play fast, still keep your time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so it's 3 bars of fast stuff. That last bar you want to start ascending, and you're going to get to here on the 17th fret. And know your C major scale going this way too, right? So, all right, and then just work your way up. Play that really fast. Now, a lot of times live, what he does is he'll say this, he'll go all the way up here, and then he'll just keep going fast. Keep going, because there's a second fast section coming up, right? And he'll just keep going. He doesn't stop. He's just fluttering all over the place on that C major scale until we get to the next section. So that's my advice to you here if you're learning this thing. Trust me, take my advice on this one. If you could try to learn this exact. If you want, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. Or you just play fast in the C major scale and you arrive at here. All right? That's what you're after. So again, you're going to do, I think it's 3 bars. 2, 3... And then a little extra bend. All right, and you're going to end up back on this A note here. Again, we're just kind of coming back down that major scale. A little extra push. All right, so if you're going to do the live version, the studio version, now you're going to slow it down just for a minute and pick it up again. If you want to do the live versions, you're going to just keep going on that C major scale. Just keep going until you get to the end. You can do that too. Personally, when I do it live, I like the break. I like separating the two. I never really liked him just keeping going. I mean, it's impressive, I guess, but to me, it's not interesting. What's more interesting to me is, and then we do, all right, and then I'm coming back down here after that, and then here I'm going to go, I do a little some double picking here, and the notes I'm using is 5, 6, 8 on the B, 4, 5, 7 on the G, and I end up here on the B note. You could end up also on the D note here. It doesn't really matter. And then from there comes the second fast solo. Same thing applies. You're going to go a little longer with this one though. All right. Now, again, you can just go flutter up and down the scale, but I'm going to tell you where you got to end up, and where you end up is really crucial. So, right, I'm just going to keep going, but we're going to have to end up on the next section, which is this one. Word of advice. I know we're in 4/4 when we're doing the fast stuff, but count yourself in eights. Think of it almost in terms of 8/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because if you can do that, I've discovered for me, the danger us guitar players may run into is we're going to come into this 7/8 thing too fast, and you're going to come in early and you're going to throw everybody off. Think in terms of 8/8. That's what works for me. It may not be for you, but I think in terms of 8/8 when I'm playing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that when you come into 7/8, the 8s are constant, right? Because you got to land that next section, which is 7/8. Okay. So again, flutter around in the C major scale. You're just going to go really fast. Make sure you're clean. Sometimes I'll just stay down here. And then I'm going to come to this next section. This second guitar solo is weird. We know it is. We've listened to it, and he's done this kind of differently every time he's played it. But here's the gist of it. I've seen all kinds of theories and stuff. It's really, I think it's a lot simpler if you think of it in terms of this. There's two chords happening behind it. If there were chords, it's mostly just Geddy playing. You don't have a guitar chord in there. But if you did, you would have a C major, and then you'll have an F sharp major. That's what's happening behind there, okay? Geddy's kind of doing his thing, but if there was a guitar chord, that's what it is. So think of it in terms of that. What he does when the C major, you have to listen to the chord, you're still in that, I guess you call it, you're playing the C major scale notes. I don't know exactly what mode this is. It's kind of weird, but you're still playing predominantly those notes. Not entirely, but predominantly that. There's exceptions. When he gets to the F sharp major, really what you're going to end up doing, you're going to see this in a second, is the notes that you're playing when they're here is really just the notes off that are in the F sharp major chord. The notes are F sharp, C sharp, and A sharp. Those are the notes. And predominantly, that's what you're focused on when that part's played. Okay, it's just the chord, the notes in the chord. I don't even know. I can't even tell you it's a scale. He's just playing the notes that are in that. Okay, this is the best way I can describe it. Okay, so let's get to it. So we start. We're right here on a G flat or an F sharp, if you will. I've been up like a half step. And then you go to the G, this is on the G string, and then bend a whole step to the A. And then we're going to pluck this note right here, which is an E flat or D sharp. Okay, note now we're coming down to the F. And then you're going to play this part. This is actually just the F sharp power chord. You can play it here too. Either place is fine. I, for some reason, go here. And then you're going to go over to the C, because we're going over to the C major chord, but he does a really heavy bend, right? Like you're almost doing a step and a half up. It's weird, it's a little off, but that's the whole point. It's supposed to be off. And then you're going to go to the F sharp. And again, you can go here. I play it right here on the D string, or you can play it here on the A string, whichever suits you. And then you're going to go down to the low F sharp. and then right here, which is the B flat or A sharp, whatever you want to call it. That's actually in the F sharp chord. So let me just take this little section here. That little part was just really just the notes in the F sharp major chord. Then we're going to play a riff here. All right, this here again, it's behind the C. I don't know what you want to call this, but I'm playing the notes I'm playing. I start on the C note and on the D string, and then I'm going on the G. I'm using 8, 10, and on the B I'm using 8, 10, 11, and I'm going to bend on the 11. I bend a whole step. I'm bending up to the C because we're still in that C chord. So, and then this is a weird bend. It's somewhere over here. He may just be going, I don't even know where he's bending, but it's right here. I'm doing here on the 6th fret. Right? It sounds weird. It's supposed to just bend up, down. And then I'm here on this F sharp note here, which is on the D string. Okay, so put that little part together. That is, again, this is also an F sharp power chord here, right? Or F sharp major chord right here. That's what this is, and he's just fluttering around right here. Then we go to the next part. You can take some liberties here. He does too. He's on his live, and take some liberties here if you need to. But these are the notes you're playing. You're going to be G, F on the D string, A G on the D string, C B on the G string. No, we're in the major scale, C major right here. Right? And then we're just going to end right here on that F sharp because we're coming into the F sharp chord. So that's A, G, F sharp. Then we're going to do another section up here, a little different. Right? Ba-da-da-ba. So right here, it's off that F sharp chord, but we're also going to add an E here. And then bum, bum. So we're going to still end on this B flat here, but now we're going to use that, instead of going here, it's here. All right, he drops that down. And then the final part of this weird solo is, we go back to here. All right, so it's G, F, A, G on the D string, and then on the G string, you're going to go B, A, C, B on the G, and then D on the G string. So D, C on the G string, and then you're just going to come back down the scale, but we're going to end here on the F sharp note. And then here, this final part is, again, it's in the F sharp major chord. So this is all part of that F sharp chord. This is also in the F sharp chord. We're going to end on on a D flat. A lot there, but if you could think in terms of two different things happening, C major chord, F sharp major chord. C major chord, you're predominantly going to be in a C major scale. I'm not going to say it's C major scale, but your focus is on something like resembling that scale in the C. Again, it's weird. Some of these bends are just weird. But when you get to the F sharp major, your notes are primarily going to be those three notes in the F sharp major chord. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you got a lot out of this. You may have to go back quite a bit. You got any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I always have rush stuff, but I always have quite a bit of other things as well. All right? So thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. So rock on.